What's going on, you guys? AJ Tucker with AJ Self Defense, man. And this one right here is about Soulja Boy. Now, he has to pay $4 million to a victim. And here's the thing, like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what went down. It's a very good chance that this stuff went down. Big shout out to the Crime and Law Network for keeping the stories coming. But I want to talk about this because even though they're talking about Soulja Boy, this story right here talks about so many couples in the U.S. and across the world. So many couples. So let me tell you how this thing got started. The victim, she was hired by Soulja Boy to be his personal assistant. Now, here's a couple of red flags here. And the thing is, I am not blaming this victim by any means necessary, but the cycle happens very similar across the board. So when they first got into it, he hired her as an assistant. Now, think about these numbers. This is not really an opportunity when you think about it, but he was going to pay her $500 a week, and she was to work 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, basically. So if you really think about it, Soulja Boy, he could get anybody to do that, and she could make $500 a week doing a job, working less instead of being somebody's personal assistant. She was basically to braid his hair, cook, clean, drive him around, do whatever he needed to do. Honestly, basically, it sounds like, hey man, be my woman, and I'll give you $2,000 a month. That's basically what it sounds like. They eventually got into a romantic relationship. Now it got to the point though to where he started to get abusive. Abusive. There's different stories where he would assault her and force her into sex and things of that nature. To the point to where she wanted to break up and quit, and he got mad and knocked her out, and she wakes up and finds herself locked into a room where he assaults her a couple of more times. Finally, she got up out of there, but she left without any of her belongings, and she wanted to get her belongings back. And then it came to a point to where he used that to assault her one more time, if you know what I'm talking about. So, and that is very common. Like when there's an ex involved, when there's an ex-boyfriend involved and he's abusive, always avoid that last meeting. They always want to get that one more meeting. Hey, let's go meet in a safe spot. There was one woman, she was messing with a baseball player and she was pregnant. And he wanted to meet one last time near a bridge, and she thought it was cool, and he ended up ending her life. So if you're a woman and you're in that abusive relationship, even a man, if you're in an abusive relationship, avoid that last meeting, even if you think it's in a public place or a safe place, because if they've put their hands on you before and it's gotten really dangerous to where you felt like you were going to die, it is a good chance they're going to take you out. There's nothing worth that last meeting. So there's other victims of Soulja Boy that's in kind of similar scenarios, but this is definitely a big one. She's paying $4 million. But think about how that started. She was paying him. He was paying her $500 a week, so he was supporting her financially. And then basically she probably stayed there and she had to sleep there. And so this is how it all starts. They give a little carrot. They support them financially. They get them comfortable, and they basically financially surround them. That means that her livelihood is dependent upon him, and he can snatch that away. And so if she wants to leave, she can't really leave because she doesn't have anything to back her up. She would get likes and stuff on Instagram, and he would get pissed off about that. And so it's that isolation, that happens to you, that financial isolation, and then the physical abuse. And you can hold somebody in for a long time and do all sorts of stuff to them. I'm not going to dive into too many of the details on what he allegedly did to her. But the reason why I wanted to highlight this story, not because he's a star, but the fact that he's a star and this is news, I wanted to highlight it because this is happening to so many people. And right now I'm focusing on women. I know men are abused as well. But this particular story is happening to so many women across the world right now where they are financially surrounded. Honestly, if they were on their own, they'd probably be able to make more. It seems like a big opportunity to be with Soulja Boy, to be with a millionaire, to be with a rapper, and to be his personal assistant. But if you're only getting paid $2,000 a month to work 20 hours a day, then that is a bad deal. You're getting screwed over, and they're going to see what else they can do to you. All right. So that's all I got for this one, man. I'll see you on the next one.